Thank you for joining us today, and this will be part 3 of our teaching on what it means to be born again or born from above. And I'm going to read over in the book of Romans chapter 6, and I'll repeat a verse that we read last session. It was in verse 12. We said, "Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned." Now, the death is speaking about here, of course, is really twofold. We know that we're all familiar with our physical death that everyone experiences. Everyone that's, if you live in this body, you're going to experience physical death one day. And but actually, it's talking much more, not just about physical death here, but it's talking about spiritual death. When Adam fell and rebelled against Yahuah, he died spiritually. Remember, Yahuah told him, in the day you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, he told him, first of all, not to eat of that tree. And he told him, and he warned him that if he ate of that tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that he would surely die. Well, the very day he ate of it, he did. He died spiritually first, and then physical death really didn't occur until about 900 years later, as far as we understand the scriptures. So he actually, spiritual death entered in the moment that Yahuah said it would, that very day that he ate of that, spiritual death entered into man, and he no longer, had spiritual, he did no longer have life in him. He had spiritual death in him, which actually gave him he became a child of the devil at that point. And so in order for redemption, for Yahuah to bring back, to redeem mankind, he couldn't just forgive man his sins, because that would never, accomplish the task. In other words, it would never change who he had become. You and I can be forgiven for sins past and so forth, but unless something happens on the inside, we're actually changed from spiritual death into spiritual life. We are still going to need forgiveness of sins. That's why, if redemption was just merely forgiving of sins, then when you and I got to heaven, we're still going to need to be forgiven, because if we're going to be sinning down here, we're going to be sinning up there, because you haven't really changed anything about yourself. That's why the new birth is a necessity, that you must be born again or born from above in order to change from the family of Satan into the family of Yahuah. Now, in fact, I want to read a verse to you over in the book of Colossians, chapter 13. And it would pertain to what we're sharing right now. And in one translation it says, "Who has delivered us from the power of darkness and has translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son." Another translation states that verse this way: "The Father has delivered and drawn us to himself out of the control and the dominion of darkness, and has translated us into the kingdom of the Son of his love." In other words, Yahuah, the moment that you and I are born from above, he has translated us, or transferred us, out of the kingdom of darkness, out of the family of Satan, and he's actually transferred us into the kingdom of light, into the kingdom of his dear Son. Oh, hallelujah! Praise Yahuah! This is talking about that we've been taken from the family of darkness and placed into the family of light, the kingdom of Yahuah. And that's been done by the new birth, by being born from above. Now, going back to Romans chapter 5, another verse that I'll read to you is down in verse 17. For as by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, Yahushua HaMashiach. Notice what it says here: the gift of righteousness. If something's a gift, it means that you didn't earn anything for it. It was a gift. If I had to earn or salvation by by doing certain acts and deeds and actions, then I would have earned it myself, and I would be able to boast in that. But the scripture clearly teaches that whosoever boasts, let him boast in Yahuah, not in himself, because why? It was his work. We're his workmanship, created in Yahushua HaMashiach unto good works. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9, 10 says, for we are his workmanship, created in Yahushua HaMashiach. It was his work. It's his work, not ours. It's not what we do. Now, it's important that what you believe, and it is important to live a good life. It's important to obey the commandments of Yahuah. I'm not stating that you shouldn't obey the commandments. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm saying is that you keeping the commandments and you keeping the Torah is not going to change your nature. You have to have a nature change. You have to be born from above. Now, once you're born from above, naturally, you have now the ability to keep the commandments. You know, man, actually, you know, most people can't even quote what the 10 Commandments are. They don't even know what the 10 Commandments are. And I won't say that most of you that's listening to this broadcast could not quote all 10 Commandments. And it's because, you know, the thing is, you and I keeping the commandments is a good thing. I'm not saying it's not, but what I'm saying is that keeping the commandments and keeping the Torah is not going to change your nature. It will not get you into heaven, because you have to be born from above in order to enter the kingdom of Yahuah. I hope you're understanding this. We're going to go in more detail about this in our next few teachings, and really try to clear this up for you, because there's a lot of misunderstanding out there. And it's not by works of righteousness which we have done, but it's according to Yahuah's mercy that he saved us. And this is the good news of the Basora of the scriptures, is that he has paid the price. And salvation has been paid for. The price has been paid for, that you and I can be born from above, and that we can look forward to the redemption being complete, the redemption of these physical bodies that we live in. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I truly care about you, and I really hope that you're being blessed and that you're receiving from these teachings, and let me know that you are. It's encouragement to know that others are receiving this, and some of you are letting me know that, and I appreciate all the comments that others have made, and that you're being blessed, and I thank you for that. So look forward to our next session together, and we'll be back soon. Thank you.